Greetings, family. It's been a minute. I had to come on today to talk to you all during this power outage. We're supposed to have a power outage for 2 days. If you saw my community post, it has some details on this power outage. Supposedly, it's going to be out for 2 days, and then when they restore the power, it's going to be on a new system that will prevent us from having to lose power 2, 3 times a day. Like literally, you be in the middle of cooking, the power go. For me, it's not an issue because I have an electric and a gas stove. So when the electric goes, of course, the gas is still going, and I can continue my meal. But of course, I can't use the oven, or my fridge is out for a few hours, right? So let's talk about the fridge. Those of you who may be thinking about coming, you may really want to consider getting a solar refrigerator. The solar fridge supposedly, basically you charge it. It's solar power, right? So you charge up your battery, you use it, and I guess you can use it for other things as well. But they're really expensive because you pay for the fridge, but then you have to pay for like the battery and the separate equipment that goes with the fridge, and it's pricey. So for me, I got a regular fridge. It runs like really old school. When the power goes, the fridge goes. It stops running. The freezer stays pretty cold, but the fridge, the top part isn't that great. So I find things will spoil quickly, like, get a little mold or something. So of course I keep baking soda in the fridge. And I don't buy a whole lot of food at one time. I mainly use the fridge for my ice water. Like, I never was big on ice water in the States, but ice water is a really big thing to me here. I freeze everything. If you've seen my videos I've done talking about ice, then you know what I'm referring to. I take ice water bottles, so when my water starts to melt, I can put it like at the back of my neck, I can put it on my head, I can put it here, just to cool myself down. So that's what I like my ice water for. I often carry extra water. When we get stopped by the cops, I usually give them ice water, and they just move us along because they're so happy that, we're giving them water and stuff like that. The other thing I wanted to talk about, like I mentioned the power outage, but I really came on because I got to give y'all a scoop. How we got prayed up out of church in the Gambia. Yo, we got invited to a movie opening, and it's like, okay, we're gonna support the brother. He's a young brother that has this movie. I kind of got the hint that the movie might have had some religious connotations to it, but I'm an artist and I create different forms of art, but I also support all forms of art, whether it's a movie or a art gallery, a play, like whatever. If I know it's one of us doing it, I'm gonna support. So nevertheless, we get to the location, and it's a church, right? So it's just really odd because it's like on a back street, like off the main, throughway. But when you walk in, it's like a whole nother world. Like there's like white, mosaic stone and like a cobblestone entry. There's 2 spiral staircases leading up to the level where the thing is. And I'm just saying to myself, I don't know, like the vibe when I walked in was just like, okay, somebody got some money, somebody doing something. But what always gets me is, one thing about Gambia, and I can't speak for other places outside of where I've been, but in Gambia, you step behind a gate and it's like a whole nother world behind the compound. Like what you see on the road is not what you're really dealing with, okay? So we get in here and, we're sitting down and I see folks that I know. We're all greeting each other because we're there to support this brother. But I noticed that there is this obese Caucasian woman who is sitting in the front, and she got on like this. If you ever seen Little House on the Prairie, she got like this Amish looking type dress on, and she's looking all around, and you could see that she's used to being in charge, if you will. So the children, the African children, are climbing all on this mound of a woman. They're all over her. They're laughing. They're, playing, whatever. But they keep looking at us. And it's just really awkward because we're looking like, why are these children all over this woman? We figure obviously they know her. So, we just kind of blow it off. But it's just interesting how they're making such a big deal out of her. And their parents are sitting right there, right? So we just watch, we're waiting for the movie to start. She never greets us. She never says hello. She just keeps staring. She keeps turning back while she's holding the children and looking at us. And we're just like, are we supposed to be impressed by this? Like, what? Nevertheless, that's not what we're here for. So the movie finally, they start to say that they're going to start the movie. So we're like, okay, because we sitting here now and they playing religious music. And I don't know what it is about Christians in Gambia, but baby, when I tell you they play their music louder than a club, I don't do well with loud noises. Like, I don't understand the purpose of people screaming, especially, and I'm talking to you, when you can't sing. You can't sing. Why are you screaming to the top of your lungs, just violating completely? So they singing and they, yelling about Jesus. And I guess there's some kind of notion that the louder you yell, the creator's going to respond. I don't know. But they yelling and the music is loud. And then they're playing it on like a TV with like a videotape or something, some kind of chorus church group. And so we're listening to that, and it's really loud. So I'm like starting to get like a little bit of a headache. And the sister sitting next to me is like, yo, I asked them to turn it down, because it was really loud. So it gets better. They get up and they say, now the sister next to me, she's been there since 6:30. It's supposed to start at 7. I came at like 7:15. So now it's like 7:30. Okay, now it's 7:45. Now it's 8 o'clock. So we like, okay, African time, right? We good. So the director's there, he comes over, he greets us. They say they're going to start the movie. So this mound of a woman, this 2520, gets up and she proceeds to say that she knows people have been a long time and but this is Africa and things take a long time. And she has to introduce all the members of the church first. She did that. She has to introduce the church singing group. She did that. And then she says they're going to sing. Now, she just said prior to that she was going to announce the movie and that the actors in the movie for the people that had come to see the movie. But now I'm getting this vibe like, she need to let us know that she running things, okay? So she proceeds to have them sing. Once again, yelling, screaming, demanding, like almost bullying that you do what they tell you to do. Clap your hands, raise your hands to the roof, call on, Jesus. And I mean, they going in. And I'm just looking at this woman like, I don't think this is what the creator intended. I don't think this is what Jesus intended. And quite honestly, I don't want to praise with nobody that's trying to be a bully. It really was like some white savior complex that was happening, right? That she was mad because we wasn't jumping to her tune and everybody around her was. If she tapped a chair next to her, somebody come and sit in that chair next to her. She had to let everybody know that the people walking around in t-shirts and brand new sneakers, she was responsible for that. They were members of her church. And I just was like, when you really doing right by people, there's no need to tell everybody what you did, right? You just do it from your heart. So now I'm really not feeling her at this point. So now the sisters that are with us, some sisters were there from the UK. They was like, yo, I'm out. They got up and left. I'm still sitting there like, okay, I'm going to wait a little longer and see if this thing going to start. Do y'all know she had the nerve to call another group up? And they did this long prayer. And basically what she said was, if it ain't about Jesus, it ain't about nothing. And I was like, you are using your power the wrong way. You really are. And when she saw that she could not control these African diaspora people that were in her pew, her seats, if you will, she just really was uncomfortable. And it was crazy because a lot of the members of the church were Nigerian. And of course, people got little sayings out here about Nigerians be scamming, all kind of wicked stuff. But all I could think of is, if this woman is in charge, this is shady. This is real shady. I'm not feeling her. So they did their little prayer, and everybody that was associated with the diaspora that was there to support this brother, they left. They left one by one. And quite honestly, I was one of the last people to leave, because I still was sitting there like, she's not really doing this, right? Like, she is going to let this brother show his movie. And then I realized that she was not going to let him show the movie while we were there. I think her feeling was, if they're not on board with what I'm doing, if they're not jumping, skipping, or whatever to my tune, they can't be here. And I just was like, it was unfortunate, but it was real, y'all. So this is how we got prayed up out of church in the Gambia. They did their little prayer, and they kept praying, and they kept screaming and being aggressive, and it was just nasty. Like, it reminded me of one time when I took my mother to a new church someone invited us to. And when my mother get filled with spirit, she would kind of just hold her hands together and rock, like just feeling it in her own way. And this woman came up behind my mother. It was one of the what you call them ladies with the white, y'all, the hosts, the matrons, I forget what they call the people in the church, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Came up behind my mother and clapped her hands in her ear, talking about she needs to clap her hands. And I was like, come on, really? Like, you don't tell nobody how to praise. Everybody feels the spirit differently. Everybody responds differently. Some people praise quietly. Some people praise loudly, and that's cool. But you don't bully people into doing what you want to do because you're in charge and this is how it's supposed to go. And, it was just deep, because the more I thought about this woman, it just got really sad for me. And it made me think, I get it. Like, when you were in the UK, you was just a fat 25-20 sitting with your cats with no one to really care about you. You weren't relevant. But you come to Africa with a little bit of money, and you can pay for people to treat you like you in charge, like you the big baller, you the wannabe queen. But for me, you'll always be that fat lady with the cats, the fat lonely lady with the cats. Because anytime you got to pay people for respect, it's not really respect, right? Anytime you have to use that as collateral, it was really sad to me. It was very sad to me. And all I could do is, like I said, that happened like a week ago, and I didn't want to bring the report the day of, because I had to really process, how can you use prayer and religion to push people away? And that was exactly what they did. That's what they did. Because I'll tell you, I've been to every church. I've been to Buddhist temples. I've been to the Kingdom Hall. My brother's a Jehovah's Witness. I've been to, Greater Shiloh Baptist Church, which is where I was, I attended for some time, attended classes and everything. My parents' people, my dad's people are from Barbados. They are Bajan. They are Episcopalian. So I know religion, okay? I've been to Catholic colleges. My son went to, an Episcopalian Catholic type camp in Connecticut. I've been to Muslim services. One of my girlfriends, when she passed, when she transitioned, it was a Muslim service. So I've been to all types of churches, and I sit and I respect. But never have I felt bullied to participate in something when you don't know where people's energy is coming from. The crazy part, I got to show y'all something. Hold on, I got to show you this. Greetings, family. Once again, I'm back. So I had to show y'all this, right? This is tiger's eye. And can I tell you, I have not worn this necklace. I bought it. I found out that it was one of my protective stones. And the first day that I decided to wear this tiger's eye was when I went to that church. How about that? When I tell you, listen to spirit, so I was like, something was like, put your tiger's eye on. And I wore this tiger's eye necklace to that church. This is the second time that I'm wearing it. It's just to show you all what I wore. But when I tell you about energy, and you have to listen and be aware, because when something ain't right, it ain't right. So that's it, y'all. That's how we got prayed up by the church. Keep your protection. Keep your prayers high. Meditate. Do what you need to do to be sane. But that's how we got prayed up out of church in the Gambia. Blessings.